at the inauguration ceremony of Atal Incubation Center, MIT ADT Incubator Forum. And we would like to begin our program by offering our prayers to Mata Saraswati. I request all to rise in your seats for Saraswati Vandana.
या शुभ्र वस्त्रावृता या वीणा वरदण्ड मण्डितकरा या श्वेत पद्मासना च्युत शंकर प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेष जाड्या.
Thank you. I request all to be kindly seated. I would now request the CEO of AIC-MIT ADT, Dr. Mohit Dubey sir, to kindly deliver his welcome speech.
First of all, let me thank you extremely from the bottom of my heart, Mr. Ramanan, for making it despite having your meetings, which continues for 24/7. I know, you are one person who kind of does a breakfast in Delhi, lunch at Bangalore, and probably have to come back at Ahmedabad for a dinner or something. So, despite that busy schedule, truly honored by your presence, because I think it was more important for a physical presence while we all are getting to the zone of Facebook. It's important for all of us, to get your blessings right in presence, right in person. So thank you again for making it, and we are truly honored to have you, and we are excited to have you here. Thank you for that. Yeah, there are no penalties for making claps. You can still go ahead and do that. मंचासीन इस विश्वविद्यालय के कर्मठ योगी प्रोफेसर मंगेश कराट, जिनके नेतृत्व में यह विश्वविद्यालय और AIC दिन और रात मेहनत करने के लिए तत्पर है. Other members of Board of Governance who are mostly passionate as probably we are and keep us honest in whatever we try to do. The generation which is here in the white t-shirts, for which this entire effort at the national level is being done. The great innovators of this country, their mentors, various partners who have helped us to develop these facilities, to take these mentees in a shape where they think they are now at a position to start their journey of incubation. First and foremost, I would like to remember the greatest entrepreneur of this Pavan Dharti, प्रोफेसर विश्वनाथ कराट जी, जो हम सभी लोगों का इंस्पिरेशन है, और he keeps all of us honest that whatever you want to achieve, the starting has to be from ground zero. Because this institution, this great institution, was started from ground zero in 1983, and now this has culminated into a Vatvriksha of more than 4 or 5 universities and 70 institutions across the country. And I'm super proud that as Mr. Ramanan, you were mentioning that when you came last year, 1.5 years back, you saw that spark here for which you were kind of excited to see an ATL Incubation Center here. And with all the blessings and the wishes of everyone, we are getting this day one right here in presence of everyone. I must put this on record, that there are two people that whenever I listen to them in this country, and I do listen to many of them, but there are two special people that when I listen to them, there's only one word that comes out. That the country needs to develop world-class incubators. And it's the CEO of NITI Aayog, Mr. Amitabh Kant ji, चाहे वह हैदराबाद की ट्रेनिंग हो, चाहे Sweden का delegation हो, he and Mr. Ramanan, these are the two people who are true inspiration for everyone in this journey, and their only message is nothing but world class. Nothing but world class. Talking about the world class, I was at one of the higher education program at Harvard also, sir. So I asked the question to professor, what is world class? And how do we make world class institutions? Very simple answers. He said, an organization which you can build anywhere in the world, and people will still flock to work for that organization and never want to get away from that organization, is a world class organization. Then my follow-up question was, how do you build one? Because now we are talking about world-class institutions, world-class companies, so on and so forth. How do you build a world-class organization? There are very 5 simple steps, and I would walk through quickly about that. The first one, they said, was people. If you have the right people, year after year, decades after decades, who are going to lead that organization, you will have a world-class organization. And I'm extremely proud to say that our beginning of ATL Incubation Center has been on an extremely solid footing as far as people are concerned. And as you saw, our Board of Governance, which is the highest body to drive this whole AIC, Dr. Ganesh Natarajan, he doesn't need any introduction. Mr. Manish Mehta, as I said, he comes from the more than 2 decades of experience from the companies. All our BOG members are extremely passionate, and they gave their viewpoint many times, which is not in agreement with everyone. But as you mentioned about that company in China, it's all transparent, so that the common factor that binds all of them is the growth of AIC. The second mention that the professor mentioned about the quality infrastructure. And I don't think I need to speak even a word about what a quality infrastructure we have got, courtesy to the management of MIT University. In fact, Mr. Ramanan has requested us to cut short this so that he can get to the world's largest dome here and spend there for 10 minutes there. So it speaks volumes about the quality of infrastructure that we are trying to create at, not just at AIC, but overall as an institution. Third one was all about the funding required to take that organization forward. And they did not mean that it has to be endless pit. The kind of investments that you are required, we have all the compliant required infrastructure in place. And I was mentioning that the kids who came from the ATL Tinkering Labs, when they saw this kind of infrastructure, they were mesmerized, and their innovation hats started thinking more about it as they got the relevant infrastructure. Then came the culture of the organization. When we talk about the culture of the organization, we spoke about how do we think, as the name suggests, it's MIT Art, Design and Technology. So for all of us in the startup world, it is all about idea. So the way we think about idea, I stands for an innovation journey. So all our technologies that are going to help us falls under that innovation category of it. D, as you saw, the Panchatattva theme of our AIC, that has been the homegrown design thinking approach and with the support for all of us. E is for the entrepreneurship, and as I said, this is the land of entrepreneurs when it started back in 1983. And then A is for the arts. And as you met, Professor Jabbar Patel Sahab, and the videos that I'm going to send you, you will see the kind of blend that, the team is supporting for the creation and blending of the art element to that. So, as I said, the culture here is trying to collaborate and work with different aspects of things so that it doesn't stay as a technology solution or as a design solution, but it goes on and starts building more of it. And again, I know I'm just doing a quick time check. It's already 3:15, so I'll just, wrap up with a few lines, which says that इस जहां में अभी उड़ान बहुत बाकी है. For AIC, we have just started, and this is the day one. So I think इस जहां में अभी उड़ान बहुत बाकी है, इस जहां में अभी बहुत इम्तिहान बाकी है. इस जहां में अभी उड़ान बहुत बाकी है, इस जहां में अभी बहुत इम्तिहान बाकी है. अभी तो नापी है 2 मुट्ठी भर जमीन, अभी तो पूरा आसमान बाकी है. And I'm pretty sure with the blessings of people who are attached with AIC and the growth of this institution and the support of partners, mentors, I'm pretty sure that Udan is not very far away from this AIC. Thank you, Mr. Ramanan, for again making it in person. I don't have words to express my thanks for that. Once again, thank you for making it, and I hope the center gets blessings of yours and it flourishes well over that Asman. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And now, dear friends, it is my honor and privilege to introduce our honorable chief guest of the day, Mr. Ramanan Ramanathan. Our chief guest, Mr. Ramanan Ramanathan, is the mission director of the Atal Innovation Mission. As the mission director of AIM, he has been instrumental to date in the launch of and execution of several nationwide innovation and entrepreneurship initiatives, resulting in 10,000 Atal Tinkering Labs being established in schools nationwide, with 3,500 plus operational in 650 plus districts, and over 2 million students having access to innovative tools and technologies like 3D printers, robotics, do-it-yourself kits to stimulate product innovations along with the ministries of India. Mr. Ramanathan was previously the Managing Director and CEO of CMC Limited, a subsidiary of the global acclaimed Tata Consultancy Services, and under his leadership, 72% of CMC's business was generated from the overseas market, leading to the successful amalgamation into TCS in 2015. And now, dear friends, without any further ado, let me request our Honorable Executive President of MIT ADT University, Professor Dr. Mangesh Karat sir, to kindly felicitate our Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Ramanan Ramanathan. Let us have a huge and thunderous round of applause in welcoming our Chief Guest, Mr. Ramanathan. Shawl and photo frame of philosopher Saint Sri Jnaneshwara with a wonderful bouquet of roses has been felicitated to our honorable chief guest. Thank you, sir. And now, there is still more. Let us have a huge round of applause once again for our honorable chief guest. It is a proud moment for all of us that he has blessed us with his presence during this Atal Incubation Center Innovation Ceremony. It's a beautiful memento. Thank you, sir. And now I would request Dr. Mohit Dubey sir, CEO of AIC-MITAT ADT, to felicitate Honorable Professor Dr. Mangesh Karat, Honorable Executive President of MIT ADT University. Okay, sir. Thank you. All right. I would now request our chief guest to kindly felicitate the incubatees, those who are present here.
Maybe you can just read out the name and we can just...
I request all the incubatees to kindly come forward. Mr. Arjun Ranavare, and let us have a huge round of applause for all the incubatees here. Certificates are being provided to the incubatees at the hands of our honorable chief guest and all the dignitaries on the dais. Mr. Arjun Ranavare, Mr. Vinith Tamankar, Dr. Jayant Palaskar, Mr. Pramod Priya Ranjan, Mr. Mohammad Araf, Mr. Manan Gaur and Mr. Abbas Ali. Let us all keep clapping for all these incubatees. Mr. Abhishek Rathi, Mr. Abbas Ali, they are being felicitated for various companies, to name a few: Fabrius, Yatri, Sonkar, Prosthetic Private Limited, Body Tutor, The Fable, SQN Technologies, and many more. Thank you all. And now, our chief guest is also going to give a certificate presentation, a memento to Professor Virendra Bhojwani, who is the ICC President. IIC President, Institutions Innovation Council, President Professor Virendra Bhojwani. And now I would like to request Professor Nachiket Thakur to be felicitated at the hands of all the dignitaries for designing the AIC. Professor Nachiket Thakur.
Read out the name
Also, felicitation of Professor Neelam Bhosle, Faculty of MIT ADT, for designing Panchatattva theme creatives. Professor Nachiket Thakur and Professor Neelam Bhosle. Let us have a huge round of applause. They have been proven themselves as an instrumental factors in designing AIC. And now, without any further ado, I would request Director AIC-MIT ADT and Executive President to kindly address the gathering.
Good afternoon. Chief guest of today's program, Honorable Mr. Ramanathan, Mission Director of the Atal Innovation Mission, Government of India. Our other dignitaries on the dais, the Board of Governance members, Mr. Manish Mehta is the Global Delivery President for the Cape Gemini, Vinayak Gaisas, Mr. Bhojwani, our CEO, Mohit Dubeji, and our Research Dean, Dr. Kishore Ravande, all other dignitaries, and my young incubatees and other participants. I welcome you for this very historical program of the opening ceremony of the AIC-MIT ADT Incubator Forum. It is already inaugurated at the hands of the today's chief guest, Mr. Ramanathan, at the premises of the SFT building, ground floor, where it is located. Sir, we are very delighted and honored and privileged by your presence. You have inaugurated this wonderful, center, the center of creativity, center of innovation, center of ideas, whatever you can say, and center of fulfilling the dreams, not only of an individual incubatee, but the dream of right from Mr. Modi ji, yourself, and all of us. So thank you very much. So you have So, wonderful beginning. I said it, historical beginning, because until today, I think in hardly few of only IITs, they used to have the incubation centers, but now this new initiative by the Government of India and under the leadership of Mr. Ramanan, private university like MIT ADT has taken the lead, and we also have started the activity. And now, henceforth, such incubation centers will be the integral part of the university education, in my opinion. And it has to be. Without that, education will never come to the final stage. You know, education, every student passing out from the college should go out of the college with some product in his hand, with some idea in his hand, with some patent in his hand, so that he can really he will be really happy, university will be happy, his parents will be happy. And that is the need of the hour. Other all developed countries, America, all other countries, European countries, they have this system. And so our Indian talent is flying to America, to Silicon Valley, to number of places. Why not America? That was a question. And 1.5 years back, by our fortune, Mr. Ramananji was here for one of the program, Entrepreneur Cafe, and there I think we interacted with him, and he interacted and he saw some passion in the MIT ADT University, and he helped to conceive the idea. And that idea got conceived by his support. He granted the permission to establish the MIT ADT Incubator Forum, and after 1.5 years, now we have delivered the baby. So now it is now every time all the all the conceivements, they do not deliver the baby. So that also happens. Sometimes abortion takes place. So I am happy. So this baby is got delivered, and now this baby is going to be very healthy baby, very active baby, very intelligent baby, and so this baby will really work, and I will not commit much. Rather, I always talk to Mr. Mohit, and in our board of governance, the governing body members, we discuss in detail how we can make it very fast, very, very wonderful incubator, very attractive incubator. We have to still work. Just we have started, crawling now. But I will give you assurance, MIT group is really passionate about it, and we will see to it that it will really deliver more than your expectations. So that's what I can commit you on this occasion. I will today time is less, so I will not talk much about. I will only give the commitment of a delivery. We will deliver the expectations of the Government of India, of Mr. Ramanan Saab, and we will fulfill the dreams of our Prime Minister Modi ji on this occasion. And on this moment, I also congratulate all the incubatees, all the mentors who are supporting this activity. The 13 people have already enrolled in this incubation center, and we are going to enroll more also. I have told Mohit, as much as you can enroll and give the chance to all innovators. So that is the idea. Sir, I will not take much of time. Now, once again, on the behalf of our board of management, our board of trustees of the MIT group, I am really, really thankful to you. I don't have enough words to express my thanks. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Can we all have a standing ovation for our chief guest, Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Ramanan Ramanathan. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let us, with the same thunderous applause, let us welcome our Mission Director, ATT Innovation Mission, NITI Aayog, Government of India, Honorable Mr. Ramanathan.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am indeed overwhelmed with the, not only with the reception, but with the presence of all of you. And I would like to particularly convey how deeply I appreciate and how honored I feel, and what a privilege it is to be in your midst today in a momentous event, a milestone event in the history of the MIT University. And I want to thank Dr. Karatji. I want to thank Dr. Mohit. I would like to thank the entire management, and I would like to thank all of you people who are here today, distinguished board of governors, governing council people, mentors, teachers, principals, students, distinguished people on the dais. You see, this is something which has been very dear to me. And I personally, therefore, am very thankful to be present on this occasion. It is, to some extent, an emotional moment too, because a year and a half, we did talk about, and this was just an idea. It was just a figment of an idea. It was a concept, and a concept of, can we have an incubator here? And we are not talking about just any incubator. We are talking about a world-class incubator. And it is fantastic to see that in the year and a half, the baby has been delivered. So a big hand of applause to the entire management, to Dr. Karad for, I'm sure because of his leadership and his passion and his strength behind this entire initiative, this initiative has become a world-class incubator today. So a big hand to Dr. Karad. No idea becomes a reality without a number of people passionately dedicating themselves to the cause. I have yet to see any idea, any success anywhere in the world where a number of people, it is the team that makes things happen. And as they say, when the team works, then dreams work. And I am sure that has been the case here. So a big hand to Mohit Dubey and all the others, the designers and so on and so forth. A really big hand of applause I would like everybody to do. Now, you may all wonder why we are talking about world-class incubators. And just to take the analogy further, the world-class incubator, I mean, the word incubator is from the womb, the mother's womb in which a child is conceived. That's how the first incubation starts. For all of us, we were all incubated within our mother's wombs. And this incubator is now going to be the mother of several babies that it has to deliver. So it is the journey has just begun as the delivery of the incubator has happened, and what we want is world-class startups. And why is this so important to our nation? It is very important, and everyone in this room has to be very conscious about it, has to reflect on this, and has to internalize this in some manner. We are a country of 1.3 billion people, as all of you are aware. We have a tremendous population that is in need of economic growth and societal well-being. That can only happen when there is enormous job creation, there is enormous employment capability generated in the country, and that can only happen when all the societal problems are also solved. It's not just economic growth that can assure this, it is the entire societal well-being that is required in order to make that happen. We have also 1.4 million schools in our country. We have more than 10,500 engineering institutions in our country. We have 39,000 colleges. We have 150 million young students like you, the people who are sitting down here, who are going to be entering into the workplace over the next 5 to 10 years. And we have 1.3 billion people riding on the hopes that you, the young students, the 150 million students who are entering into the workplace, are going to carry this land forward into economic prosperity, into societal happiness, into welfare and well-being, and be a champion for the rest of the world to emulate, to model themselves upon. So this can only happen if we have a tremendous focus on addressing the challenges that this country has. While we are also at a cusp of one of the fastest growing economic nations in the world, our GDP has been growing between 6.5 to 7.5%, and the ambition is that we should grow at least at 9 to 10% if we want to truly transform India. The NITI Aayog, the National Institution for Transforming India, is heavily focused on that. I mean, its all focus is how are we going to ensure growth of this country, and what are the initiatives and what are the interventions that are required to make all of this happen. And therefore, every one of us has to be seized with this problem. Because if we don't address this, and if we don't address the number of challenges we have, and we have a number of challenges, we have 22% of our country still below the poverty line. We have 45% of our country which is agri and agri-economy based. We have problems of affordable housing. We have 70% of our country still in the tier 2, tier 3 cities. We are going to have tremendous amount of urban migration over the next few years because everybody is flocking to cities like Pune and Delhi and Mumbai and Chennai, and even the 100 smart cities that have been identified by the government. People are going to be moving, and there's going to be massive amount of urban migration. All of this means we need smart cities. We need tremendous amount of focus on clean drinking water and sanitation. We have waste management problems. If, for example, if you don't address the problems of waste management today just in the NCR region of near surrounding Delhi, it is estimated that by 2030 we'll need a city of the size of Delhi to be able to hold the waste of what is being generated in Delhi. Now that is a tremendous impact on climate, on hygiene, on the people. So even if all of us who are economically well done or well settled, it is a problem for us because 10 years down the road, the generation, our children, the younger generation are going to suffer the impact if we are not addressing all of these challenges. But looking at the other side, all these challenges are also a tremendous opportunity for us. And therefore, it is important for everyone, the youngsters especially, all the youngsters who are here, to see that when you have a convergence of three things that are happening in this country. Number one, we are one of the fastest growing economy of the world. Number two, we are having a demographic dividend that is the envy of every other country in the world. We have a young population. The energy of a young population, the youth, have so much energy in them that if we don't convert and harness this energy for the benefit of this nation, we would have lost a huge opportunity. And third, fortunately for all of us, we are living in a world where technologies have been advancing so rapidly. And therefore, technology has become affordable, it has become advanced, and it has become accessible. So what do we mean by that? If you look at computing, the cost of computing is coming down dramatically every year, even it continues to come down. And therefore, you have great advances in supercomputing, nanocomputing, cognitive computing, and all other forms of computing. The cost of storage is coming down, as you can see, because of the cloud and the universality of the cloud and the ability for us not necessarily to store huge amounts of information on your dedicated server or on your PC, but being able to store it across the cloud and the network. And the cost of communications is coming down because whether it is wireless communication, whether it is high-speed communication, and India has taken the lead in communications, as all of you are aware. We have the lowest telephone call cost anywhere in the world. So, with the convergence of technology, IoT, data, big data and analytics, you have the Internet of Things, you have augmented virtual reality, you have 3D printing, which is revolutionizing the way you can design anything and you can produce it right in front of your eyes. So, which means a small shop, a kirana shop, a small SME can have a 3D printer and start manufacturing and making new devices, new innovations, new products without having to incur large costs. So here you have a confluence of three things, like I said, the confluence of demographic dividend, a confluence of a growing economy, and the confluence of technology, all of this coming together. And therefore, the cost of innovation is at its rock bottom. In fact, they say the cost of communication is zero. The cost of innovation is zero. So you can innovate, and in order to innovate, you need incubators and organizations like this, because unless you are having an ecosystem of innovation, and India has never lacked, as they say, for great thinkers, great engineers, great scientists, great philosophers, great artists. I mean, you name it. We have an Abdul Kalam who came from one of the remote towns of Rameshwaram. We have Ramanujan who came from a small humble town of Kumbakonam. We have a Jagdish Chandra Bose, and we have C.V. Raman. They all came from remote towns like Pune and Kumbakonams and Tanjore and so on and so forth. They didn't come from the Bombays and the Delhis and the Chennais and so on. And that is the talent that is available in our country. And that's the reason why Atal Innovation Mission has set up thousands of Atal Tinkering Labs. These tinkering labs are giving every school student from grade 6 to grade 12, whether they are in a government school, whether they are in a tier 2, tier 3 city school, whether they are in a village, whether they are in a remote district or in a coastal district, they have access to the same latest technology, 3D printing, robotics, IoT, miniaturized electronics, augmented virtual reality, do-it-yourself kits. And what's the result? The result is that the children are energizing themselves with the innovation capability that they can express through these technologies. And the incubator is the next step in the ladder. The incubator is for the universities like MIT. Students who come to the universities don't have a chance to express their innovative capabilities because everybody is just focusing on marks. You say, oh, let me get good marks from this university and let me see when is the first placement happening, who is coming for the first placement and can I get a job. The whole idea is job seeking, not job creation. And why not job creation? Because every one of you here is an innovator by birth. From the day we are born, we are innovators. We stand on our legs through innovation. Nobody teaches us how to stand. You observe the world around you, you see your mother walking, you look at her, you say you also want to stand, you stand up, you fall down, you stand up, you fall down, you rebalance, you innovate every moment, and suddenly you are walking, you are running, you are winning competitions, you are winning the Olympics. So innovation is inbuilt in us, but somehow our educational system has been stifling it and limiting your own capability by making you feel that you are not capable of this, by putting blinders around yourself. And we want to remove those blinders. And to remove those blinders, these tinkering labs, these incubators are the place where you can come and express your idea into an innovation and convert that innovation into a problem-solving product which will have impact on the society. So my first request to the management of the MIT as well as to all the students is take innovation seriously. Why? Because you can do it. You can put a ding in the universe, as Steve Jobs said. You want to put a ding in the universe. You don't want to be just an also-ran in the world. Also-ran are people who run in a race and nobody knows what they have done. Only the first three are always recognized. You don't want to be an also-ran. You want to be a person who wants to create an impact. And therefore, the first and foremost thing is you should dream big. You should dream big. And why I always lay the emphasis on world-class incubator and world-class startup, dream to be a world-class organization right from the beginning. Don't limit yourself in any way in your imagination that you cannot do it. You can be the world-class university and the world-class student that we want. So Abdul Kalam said, dream big and you will achieve great things. Dream small and you will limit yourself and only achieve that. The worst problem of dreaming small is that you will actually achieve it. And then you have nothing more to aspire for and you will stop your journey. Whereas if you dream big, your journey never ends. The second thing is have enormous belief in yourself. Swami Vivekananda said, if you have belief in 1,000 gods and goddesses, but do not have belief in yourselves, you are doomed. So an innovator, a startup, has to have enormous belief in himself or herself. You can do it. And if you have that, you will be able to create a world-class startup. The third thing is you should have a tremendous commitment to your own idea. Commitment is required. You see, we all talk about we dream big, we have great aspirations. And John F. Kennedy, in his famous quote, said, we'll put a man on the moon in this decade. Now, that was an idea, an inspiration, an aspiration, an aim, a dream. But what happened as a result of it? It galvanized an entire country into action. And when it galvanized the entire country into action, whether it was NASA or whether it was any other organization, whether it was an individual scientist or a student from a university, they all acted on that dream. So the action became a commitment to realize that dream. And lo and behold, even before the decade was over, man was put on the moon. So that's the power of a dream followed by belief in yourself and commitment. The fourth thing is we have to have a tremendous rigor of discipline and action. Sachin Tendulkar did not become a great cricketer by saying one day, I'm a genius and so if I just go out and bat, I'm going to score centuries. No. From the age of 6, every day in the morning, he'll pick up his bat and he will start practicing. Till the day he retired, he used to go out to the nets every day in the morning, the rigor of discipline. The rigor of discipline is absolutely important. There is no success. Success is 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. Or they say even genius is 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. So that discipline has to be there. Startups don't succeed just like that. If you read the story of all successful startups, if you read about Steve Jobs, or if you read about Bill Gates, or if you read about any of our own successful startups like Flipkart and so on, they are people with tremendous amount of discipline and making sure that the rigor and process of discipline is followed. And you have to have a solution. You have to dream of a solution which will have an impact. So when you are creating a solution as a startup, you have to run this idea past many customers, potential customers. Many startups say, I got a great idea, but already that idea has been executed somewhere else. So please validate your idea against 15 to 20 potential customers and get what exactly they want, because unless you develop what they want, you will not be able to create a world-class startup. Leverage technology. Technology should be leveraged not just in the creation of your product, but also in the operation of your startup and the operation of your incubator. You should have a world-class internal system to be able to manage the incubator, and you should similarly have a world-class internal system to manage your own startup operations. It is very important for you to re-engineer and reiterate your startup solution all the time, because it's not that the first idea which comes germinates and creates the product of the century. Nothing. It never happens like that. Look at all the products which have evolved, including the iPhone. They all started off with some base product but continuously evolved. They continuously got re-engineered. You have to reimagine, and then comes the shaping of the product into something that becomes a world-class success. You have to have uniqueness in your approach. Your approach has to be unique. You have to have a differentiator. The market is very competitive market out there. It's a very harsh market. And therefore, unless you are differentiating and having a uniqueness, whether it is in your product, whether it is in the features of your product, whether it is in your marketing approach, whether it is in your HR approach, whether it is in your operational management approach, you need to have a uniqueness in your product. You need to have a great team, as they mentioned earlier, and Mohit Dubey so eloquently mentioned about the 5 requirements. Great people. People are required, because you alone cannot. We are living in a very advanced world, a complex world where a single person cannot have all the qualities that are needed in order to make a product a success. So surround yourself by people who are better than you. In my team, I surround myself with the best of people who can think a lot more than what I do. Then only I will be successful, because I don't have that capability, that bandwidth, that capacity to be able to think laterally as some of the other people do. So get yourself the best people. And finally, you be persistent. Remember, in the world of a startup, or in the world of an incubator, which is also a startup today, you are going to encounter failures. But failure is always to be looked upon as learning. The word failure should be banished from your mind. It should be replaced by learning. So there are only learnings and there is success. Thomas Alva Edison famously said that I never failed. I did not find 10,000 failures in the invention of the light bulb. I only found 10,000 ways of not doing it. And that's the way you have to approach your startup. And as that famous poem goes, success is failure turned inside out, a silver tint in the clouds of doubt. You never know how close you are. You may be near while it seems so far. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You will succeed with another blow. So to all these people, to all of you who have gathered here today, with the aspiration that we are going to transform India, we are going to transform, first of all, your own life. You are going to become a creator, an innovator. You are not just going to become a job seeker. And you are going to make an impact on society, on your life, in the society that you live in the state that you live in the country that you live in, and in the world that you live in. You are going to make an impact. And I wish everyone in this room to be extraordinarily successful, and to have MIT proudly say that we have created one of the world's finest incubators with the world's finest startups. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Sir has a flight to catch. much, and that is the reason we have the program very short. Yes, but believe us, sir. Please accept our sincere gratitude on behalf of all of us for your simplified way of putting complex things, and we really cannot get enough of your presence and your knowledge. Thank you very much. And now I would request University Manager of MIT ADT University, Mr. Suraj Bhoya sir, to kindly propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing, is nothing. Take risk in your life. If you win, you can lead. If you lose, you can guide. A very good afternoon to one and all. On behalf of AIC-MIT ADT Incubator Forum and MIT ADT University, I, Suraj Bhoyer, deem it to honor and feeling privileged to propose the vote of thanks on this auspicious occasion. Today, my words are not enough to express the gratitude. At the outset, I would like to thank our chief guest, Sri Ramanan sir, who graced us with his thought-provoking address, set a perfect platform to generate first-generation entrepreneurs through the AIC-MIT ADT Incubator Forum. Thank you, sir. I express sincere thanks to Honorable Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karat sir, founder and president MIT ADT University, for his wishes and blessings that radiated a source of energy within us. I wish to express my profuse thanks to Professor Dr. Mangesh Karat sir, Executive President and Director AIC-MIT ADT Incubator Forum, for instilling within a sense of pride for creating the ecosystem to foster innovation, research and entrepreneurship among all the key stakeholders of the university. I take this opportunity to thank Professor Dr. Sunil Rai, Vice Chancellor MIT ADT University, for his enormous cooperation and constant supervision for promotion of entrepreneurship. I must mention my sincere thanks to Dr. Mohit Dubey sir, CEO AIC-MIT ADT Incubator Forum, for driving the Atal Innovation Mission in real spirit. His meticulous endeavors let us bring together for this auspicious occasion of the inaugural ceremony of Atal Incubation Center at MIT ADT University, Pune. I must acknowledge Professor Dr. Kishore Rawande sir, Dean RNC, Principal MIT SOE, for his instrumental role in providing the resources and valuable cooperation to make this happen. I am also grateful to Professor Dr. Bhojwani sir, President IIC, to initiate this spark to propel the mission of innovation among the students. I extend my gratitude to all the esteemed governing body members, Board of Directors, Advisory Board, mentors, incubatees of AIC-MIT Incubator Forum for their august presence today. We really feel fortunate to have indelible association with you, sir. I convey my regards to Mr. Ravi Birje, CEO MIT TBI, and his team for their extended support. I must mention my deep sense of appreciation to Registrar sir and all the deans, directors, head of the institutes, head of the departments for their willingness to promote the culture of entrepreneurship across the institutes. Your encouragement means a lot to us. Thank you, sir. I must thank to our media, PR and photography team for their valuable cooperation to promote the program in the best promising way through all social media handles. I do not have words to express my sincere thanks to all faculty colleagues and AIC team for their dedication and motivation, who know their responsibilities and are result oriented. I also acknowledge the help of supporting staff and all those who have encouraged and helped us directly or indirectly to make this inaugural ceremony possible, but whose contribution I may have failed inadvertently. I thank all the student volunteers without whose helping hand this ceremony would not have been possible. Thank you all. Let's build enterprising India. Jai Hind. Thank you.
I would request all the incubatees to kindly come on the dais for a group photograph.
All the folks invitation. All right.
Say cheese. Say AIC-C. Thank you all. And now, let us all rise in our seats. Let us all rise in our seats for national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय जय जय